In this tutorial, we explain how chanting the name of God works in bringing about happiness in our lives, helping us to be better people, and also facilitating our spiritual journey. If you would like to view this presentation in full screen mode, please click on the full screen button on the bottom right hand side. Now at the outset, to understand this tutorial, we recommend that you view 3 of our earlier tutorials. The first one, Start Your Spiritual Journey, and this explains which name of God we should chant. The second, The Spiritual Nature of the Mind, and this explains the nature of our subconscious mind and the centers in it. And the third, Why we do the things we do. This explains how our subconscious mind influences our decision making and whether we are predominantly happy or sad throughout our lives. Let's take a quick recap from earlier tutorials. Our subconscious mind makes up 90% of our mind, and we have millions of impressions in it. Deep-rooted impressions in our subconscious mind are known as centers. Similar centers are grouped together under major centers in the mind, such as the temperament center or the like and dislike center. The give and take account center is instrumental in deciding how we react to various stimuli and whether we feel happiness or unhappiness from life's events. The nature of the mind is like the sea, and just as the sea keeps casting wave after wave to the shore, the impressions from the various centers in our subconscious mind constantly bombard our conscious mind with thoughts. Trying to stop the mind from generating thoughts is like trying to stop the sea from generating waves. Now the problem with these incessant thoughts are, well, the first one is the number of thoughts. If you observe minutely, you'll realize that over 90% of our thoughts in a day are useless and unnecessary. However, each thought takes up our time and energy. In fact, the mind is the biggest user of our energy during the course of a day. The second is the type of thoughts. As per the spiritual science, destiny decides about 65% of events in our life. In the current era, since most people's destiny is adverse, the give and take account center, as well as the other centers in the subconscious mind, make us react negatively to various situations. This in turn makes us lose our balanced state of mind and eats up even more of our mental energy. Thus, as the root cause of the problem is inherently spiritual in nature, a spiritual solution is best suited to overcome it. So just as we remove a thorn embedded in our foot or hand with a needle or another thorn, so also we create a new divine impression to remove the defective ones. This powerful new impression is known as the devotion center and is represented by the yellow impression. Now when we begin to chant the name of God sincerely as spiritual practice, we get spiritual experiences. The experiences could range from alleviation of worldly problems to experiencing a subtle fragrance in the absence of a stimulus or experiencing calmness of mind. As we begin to associate chanting the name of God with increased positivity in our lives, we begin to give it more and more credence. As a result of this positive reinforcement, this new impression grows to become a new center in our mind known as the devotion center. Now we will discuss how chanting works to eradicate the problems of our minds we mentioned earlier. Excessive and unnecessary thoughts are overcome by the deflection method, and negative thoughts are overcome by the sheer divinity in the name of God. The devotion center begins to grow with increasing spiritual practice, and the faith in the center is augmented by higher spiritual experiences and changes in one's basic nature for the better. It then begins to overshadow all other impressions and centers as it becomes the predominant center in the mind. As a result, unnecessary thoughts from our subconscious mind are not allowed access to our conscious mind, and hence reduce their influence over us. Now, the predominant thought that remains in our mind is the name of God. The divine energy associated with the name of God itself brings about changes in our thought processes by influencing all our other centers with divinity, and also provides a foundation to fuel spiritual growth. As we keep chanting over a period of years, the devotion center grows and slowly occupies the entire subconscious mind. This is a superlative state experienced by saints, known as bliss, wherein they have the experience of merging with God. In this state, we are in total alignment with God's will and have total access to the universal mind and intellect. Once we persevere in the spiritual practice of chanting, we derive many benefits such as reduction in thoughts, greater energy levels, personality change, and hence a happier existence. The beauty about this practice is that it helps us even if we do not have any faith. Of course, if done with faith, the results are multiplied. That's all for this presentation. Thank you for joining us, and we sincerely hope that you try the spiritual practice of chanting and reap the benefits for yourself.